Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and thank you for joining for another video. Today is day 9 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. And we are on to our third page in our printable. Third page. So today's sketch has been done by Janessa Franco. So thank you Janessa for today's inspiration, and of course thank you to Christy for all that you do with this series. It has been so much fun, so much stash used, so many memories documented, and I hope all of you guys are having fun watching all of the YouTubers playing along and indeed scrapping yourselves. So today's sketch is a little bit different and I quite like it. So we've got two strips here with two, presumably 2x2, 3x3, 4x4, whatever you want them to be. I've gone 2x2. Four 2x2 photographs. We've got a title down here, journaling here, and then distinct embellishment clusters here, here, and here. This one sort of snakes around that photo. The layout is matted as well, and I really like this sketch. It's one of my top ones from this series. Of course, I love them all, but it is one of my top ones. Just give you a closer look at it. Of course, the corner has gone because I've stapled it together, but this is the one we are doing. So I am using Pinkfresh Studio, Simply the Best. I believe it's a new-ish collection. Yeah, and I think I've got most of it. I don't think I've got all of it, but most of it. So let's have a look what we've got. I have got all of the papers, apart from one. And it is one that I would like in the future if and when it comes into stock. So including the papers, we then have some alphas, and these are green and amazing. 231. You don't get numbers as per with Pinkfresh. Pinkfresh classic chipboard frames. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 frames. And then you've got these little bits inside as well. Cardstock stickers, 62 pieces of them. Classic Pinkfresh layout, even the same shapes. Sometimes it can get a bit repetitive. I'm not going to say boring because I love Pinkfresh, but you know what I mean? Sometimes I do wish they'd mix it up a little bit. That said, I do love Pinkfresh Studio. And maybe if they changed it up, it wouldn't be Pinkfresh Studio. I don't know. We've got some journaling bits. Some chipboard circles or chipboard flare. So they're like flare but flatter and chipboard. Some puffy stickers, some ephemera, and some enamel dots. So we have got quite a lot to choose from. I have, as I have done throughout this series, or at least the last few, I have gone through the paper, and I am so proud of myself here. I'm using this paper, guys. I am using it. I am using it because, so it's have fun is the paper. It's have fun, and it's 163622 if anybody wants the code. I'm a bit sad because the B-side is this and I don't have a second. So if you're watching, Sarah, please do put one aside for me. I love this. It's like a outdoors autumn adventure stripy rainbow for me, and I love it. But I also love Pinkfresh Studio. The way Pinkfresh Studio do these papers, it's just something about it. I love them. However, I don't think I've ever used one because I find it to be quite busy. It's in your face. This one is black and white, so it's slightly better. But yeah, we're going to use it today. So what I'm going to do is use this as my background, and I'm not matting my layout. And on this paper, we've got all sorts of sentiments, as I'm sure you can see. We've got cheers, life right now, the very best, extraordinary, I make up the rules, just winging it, play all day, live up to the hype, love this, one of a kind, have fun, friendship, chaotic, energy, good things ahead, and so on and so forth. We've got some like days of the week and numbers and stuff. So I am going to use it as is. Okay, so my photos are of just an outdoors adventure that Chris and I took during COVID lockdown when we were allowed out to like have a walk and that. We were in a support bubble or whatever it was called, because at that time Chris didn't live with us, but he was our like support bubble, and so we were allowed to meet up. It was a weird time, but equally there was a lot of good in it as well, which sounds weird. Of course, I would rather have not had that time, but yeah, I'm sure you all know what I mean. This paper here is Worth the Hype, and it's the B-side, or rather the B-side is this grey, and this gorgeous leaf paper is Hangout, and that is the B-side. So I have already cut my strips, as you can see, and I have cut them at 2.5. I've also cut this plaid going sideways rather than downwards, and I am going to put them on the page. So let's look at the sketch. So you can see there isn't much of a gap here. So ideally, I want these to go probably sort of like here. Maybe like this. I would love this to be on show, but it would mean putting it here, and I think that's just too far over. So we are, in fact, going to go down here. And there is a gap on the sketch. I am undecided. I think we will do a gap. Although my photos are smaller, so no, let's not do a gap. Then to the left of the photo, we have this cluster and journaling. So I've dived right into the journal bits pack, and I have pulled out this tag, which has got a gorgeous gold metal eyelet and a reinforcement ring, which is funky, and this pocket, which is just gorgeous, and it's like a larger print and a slightly different colour of the paper we're using. So this is going to go here for me, and that's going to be where my journaling is. I will make sure I cover up the chaotic, because it wasn't a chaotic day. And I will probably make sure we can see the full part of good things ahead. And I think everything else kind of works. Like we've got the very best, oh yeah, one of a kind, love this, in my element, go with the flow, have fun, legendary. So that can all work with our photos. So that's the basic plan. And then, in the papers that we have from this collection, which I should have got out before, but I didn't, we do have this sheet of paper. So I did consider using one of these cards as well. Just looking at it, I'm not sure any of them are going to really go. I may use this one. Is that 2x2? Yeah. That said, we could go a bit rogue. Should we go a bit rogue? Let's go a bit rogue. The cut apart paper is Roll With It. And the B-side is another gorgeous green. It was one that I was considering as well, but I ended up going for the plaid because it brought in that goldy mustard yellow colour. Okay, so what I've done is just cut out some cut aparts, basically. Ones that may work. I'm thinking that we're going to incorporate one and pull it over. I've also pulled these two off to maybe layer onto here. This is just a patterned card. This one is like together, meet up, hang out, such a blast, happy times. And then we've got what a time to be alive. A, because it was a lovely day, but B, it was quite the experience that we were all going through with COVID lockdown. Then we've got explore, constantly curious, and a little journaling card. So I'm going to work those in as well. So let's get sticking. Less talking, more sticking, as they say. I'm not sure who they are, but they do say it. Okay. So it's quite, I think the key to using these papers, and bear in mind this is the first one I've ever used. I do have many of them and I love them all and I will now use them. But I think the key for me is to get them on straight. That's not what I was going to say. Is to not get hung up by what you're covering. Now, I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute, but I'm sure you know already. Okay. So I will trim at the bottom because they're not quite right. So let me just do that quickly. Just straightens it out. It does mean it's slightly shorter than 12 by 12, but that's fine. It's not a problem. Okay, so that's there. So that's there. This is definitely not straight. Does it look straight to you guys? It's really playing with my head. No, it's not straight. But I'm just gonna... no, I can't just leave it. Honestly. I think that's straight now. That's the good thing with the Scrapbook Adhesives tape runner, because it is permanent, but it does give you just a few moments to make sure you're happy with placement and you don't want to take anything off, because it is removable for a short while, not for long. Okay, as I was going to say, what you need to make sure you do is not get hung up on what you're covering. So for example, I've covered epic here, I've covered amazing, I've covered happy whatever. I've covered a bit of this here, I've covered this, I've covered this. Treat it as a pattern rather than treating it as a word is, I guess, what I would say. So don't be worrying about what you're covering, because would you worry about covering a leaf or a geometric pattern or whatever it may be? So just treat it as a pattern rather than a word, and then if you see words, great, like this we can still make out. This, not so much, it could be anything. But don't get hung up on it is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so on our sketch, our photos are sort of like this. So they're a bit wonky like that. And I kind of like that. So I think we will do that sort of effect as well. But potentially a bit different. That's not going to fit. I didn't think it would. So it's going to be this. So maybe we'll do this one, something like that, just to get an extra couple of photos in, basically. And if you can get more photos into a layout, then it's a win-win, I think. So we're going to start by popping our first photo down. Then our second photo on the same side. I'm going to focus on one side before moving on to another. Now, frustratingly, I don't know whether it's the app I use, or my printer, or my phone, or operator error, or what, but when I print a photo collage, for example, 2 by 2, so on a 6 by 4 you get 6, obviously. But they're never completely 2 by 2. Same with 3 by 4. If I print 3 by 4 you get 2. But it might not be 3 by 4. One will be slightly smaller, one will be slightly bigger. And it's quite frustrating, I have to say. So some of these may not line up completely, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. So these photos were taken in 2020, September 2020. And as I say, I can't remember if it was lockdown or we were out of lockdown before another lockdown, because it was quite the yo-yo, wasn't it? And we had quite a few here in the UK. But gosh, I can't believe how much weight I have lost since then. It is quite incredible. Even like I've got 5 million chins in that one. Okay, so I like the effect that's given. A, this is bringing in like a very light wood grain. B, we've got 2 extra photos, but we're still getting the effect of the sketch in that this one starts up of this one and this one finishes. We've kind of gone for the same there, but you get what I mean. We're still getting that effect as far as I'm concerned. We've also got our title, should we want it to be that. And I really love, it's really busy, but let me know in the comments what you think. I think the focus is very much still on the photos. Don't know. So I think we will do this because this is going to allow me to bring in so many more colours. Because at the minute it's very much green, black, white, which I love, don't get me wrong. But I will want to bring in some other colours. So first things first, let's pop this on. And that is going to go there, and then this is going to go on this side, and it's going to come off the other side. So sort of crisscross. Like we've got this coming off and this coming off. To be honest, we might even use this cutter part in there as an extra little cutter part. I do love cutter parts. Gives you so much more choice and opportunity. So, the question is now, does it fit? And no, it doesn't. Because of where it is, I do need to move it in a bit because it's going to cover my face. And whilst that is a good thing, covering my little chubby face, I kind of don't think it's good for a layout. So this is going to go here. I didn't want to cover the very best, but we're going to have to basically, which is fine. We're going to have to cover Smile as well, but we've got Have Fun and other ones as well. So I'm going to make sure I put some tape on those joins and then a bit more tape than I normally would, because this is a pocket, so it means we're going to come in and out of it. Not that I look at my layouts very often because they're not in albums yet, but that is fast becoming a priority. Okay, so I was going to put that at an angle, but I've actually changed my mind, and I tell you for why. This is a very straight kind of layout. So we've got lots of straight lines, we've got lots of vertical lines, we've got lots of squares, we've got lots of corners. So I think if I was to put this at a bit of an angle, it would just look a bit odd. So I decided to go straight on. And that's where we're at, guys. I think I've stuck quite close to the sketch, even though we've gone off-piste. And now is the fun part of some embellishment. I've just had a jolly old look through the ephemera. For those that haven't seen this collection, that is what you get. Pinkfresh can sometimes be quite random with their ephemera, but nonetheless, I do love it. And I guess, yeah, it's just a bit random. Like you've got trees and like a palm leaf with a coffee cup, for example. And I love it, but yeah, a bit random. I've just, whilst I said that, I've got this flare, which is from the inspired by Print Shop Vicky Boutin collection of flare from the Flare Hut. And I've just seen that this will fit perfectly where it says just winging it, which doesn't really have any relevance to the photo. So I've just covered it with that flare, and it now says love this on a gorgeous mixed media background, which happens to be green. I have also got this, which is from the ephemera, Today's Stories and Adventures. Now this is also in puffy form, but it doesn't have adventures. And I thought it would be quite cool by here. And it's just another layer. I love all the layers in this tag pocket. So we've got this cutter part, we've got the tag, we've got all sorts, and I love it. Now, this is some of the ephemera that I thought may work. Doesn't mean I'm going to use it all. So, first up, we're going to go through the alpha, and our title is going to be COVID Walk. And I'm trying to decide where to put it. On the sketch, the title is down here. And, oops, it does seem the most obvious place for it to me. So I'm going to try and make it fit. To do that, I'm probably going to have to use lowercase, aren't I? And to make it easier for myself, let's use our tweezers. So we've got COV. This will probably go in my COVID album when I eventually get it. It is a plan. I've got tons upon tons upon tons of memorabilia, ephemera to scrap, and also photos that I've taken, but photos from the internet and like news bulletins, newspaper clippings, all that kind of stuff, because it is, well, I hope, once in a lifetime, isn't it? And it is my goal to do an album all about it. Okay. So that's why the title is COVID Walk. It's not because we had COVID. Because we escaped it for the, like when it was quite nasty, fortunately. Shame that look didn't continue, but there we go. Okay. So we've got W-A-L and a K. Kicking K. Just need to move that down. I seem to have made my way up. That's why I don't use alphas very much, because I just can't do them straight. Okay, so that is our title, COVID Walk. Very, does what it says on the tin kind of thing. It's nothing fancy, because I don't have Steph here, the title lady. So it's just does what it says on the tin kind of title, COVID Walk. Now then, where do we go from here? Let's come to these two embellishments. So first up, we've got the chipboard frames. Obviously, I'm not really going to be using a frame, but I do want to use this chipboard banner there, which is a bit wonky, but it's going to have to stay wonky now because I nearly tore it. We also have this little camera, which is quite cute. Going to pop that there. Now, do these fit? So these don't actually fit, but I quite like the idea of putting one there because our faces will actually fit. So it's like a frame within the photo. That's something different for me. I've never really done that before, but I quite like it. I don't think we have another one that will fit, which is a shame because I love that effect. Don't know if this is any bigger. Let's have a look. No, that doesn't really work, which is fine. Plenty of uses. I have to say, I do love the new layout of frames that they're using. Whilst I like a circle frame, it's not well used, so I like the new shapes of frames. Then we have got our stickers. We've got a lover sticker. So, what have we got? We've got a sticker that says, "So awesome." Let's stick that there. Then we've got one with nature, which is obviously perfect for this. Where shall we put that? I'm actually going to put that on the cutter part there. And what I like is that they've took all the negative away. That's quite funky. One of a kind. We're one of a kind. Getting 6 in my head then. Just roll with the punches. Mr. Fix It, I love that. Love it. Now, I do want to add a little phrase. So I'm going to add a bit of blue. I love this photo where Chris is like looking at me because I was like, photo, 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 constantly. So I think he was getting a bit fed up. I'm also going to use this exercising ephemera piece because we were exercising. That was our reason for being out. So there was a whole ridiculousness about that, wasn't there? So just making it known that we were being good and proper. Then I'm going to use this legendary because he is legendary. That is going to go there. I am a lover of words. Lots of words on this page, guys. So I will be very happy. I struggle to use a leaf when it's just a single one. It's a bit random. But I'm going to do it. Then we've got this, which I probably should have put there. Breathe in the fresh air, it says. Don't need any of that now, I don't think. So we could pop that up there. That is a possibility. Stay wild. Okay, I quite like the idea of that grey. I don't think there is anything else that would kind of go there. Just check on the puffies. We have got loving this actually. That's quite random. So I'm going to use this. Just going to pull that light colour around the page. And that is going to go there. I love this. Little moments, big adventures. And I think that'll then be our last word. Wordy word. Okay, captured. No, I said it was the last word. Okay, that's it for Puffy. We've got enamel dots left and the chipboard flare. If I've left any room, that is. Okay. So I'm going to put that one there. I was just concentrating then, so apologies for the silence. And I think that's going to do it, guys. I'll put a couple of enamel dots. Let's go for a couple of light ones here. So we've got 3 here, and that's probably going to do it. So thank you so much for joining me for day 9 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. Thank you to Janessa Franco for today's sketch. I think you will agree I've stuck quite close to it. We've got our embellishment cluster here, and we will have journaling inside on these 2 tags. We have got our photos with vertical strips here. It's a very busy page, guys. It's giving you a headache, I am sure. But here it is. I hope you like it. I absolutely love it. It's busy, it's wonderful, and it's all patterned paper. I will be back tomorrow for this gorgeousness. Until then, happy scrapping, and thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.